Jill Schoelen on the Fish Bowl. Welcome.
Well, thank you. I'm very happy to be talking with you.
It's a pleasure to be here at Horror Realm 2017 March Madness.
Yes.
I'd like to start off the show with just saying what are some of your favorite films?
My personal favorite film?
Your personal favorite films. It doesn't have to be horror, even though we're at a horror convention.
Well, I do love thrillers. I'm not really that much into horror, non-realistic stuff, but I do like thrillers. I love suspense thrillers, like all the time on Netflix.
Right.
I like suspense thrillers because I like how it makes me feel, and I like the psychological element that makes me think and guess. I'm very good at guessing what's happening. I always know what's going to happen by the end, usually.
Right.
But I still you never really know until you actually watch
you
it.
get to the catharsis.
Yeah, so let me see. But the truth of the matter is, I'm a big old softie. My all-time favorite film is The Wizard of Oz.
That's a classic.
I just love that film. And I like lighthearted romantic comedies. A modern one that I love is Sandra Bullock and Bill Pullman in While You Were Sleeping.
That's a great movie.
I love that movie.
I love Bill Pullman and I love Sandra Bullock.
Okay.
It's a classic love story film.
That's right. I've seen it so many times. Modern, like this year, I love Lion, especially the front part of it. I just loved it. And then I did love La La Land. And a lot of people complain about the dancing not being at a certain level or the to me the music was just replaces the dialogue. That's its job.
Well, I have to say that I am so happy that Emma Stone won the Academy Award for that film. I'm a huge Emma Stone fan, and I love Ryan Gosling.
Me too.
And
so wonderful.
The two of them have done a few films together now, and their chemistry on screen is just undeniably good. And I loved Emma Stone since I saw her in Superbad with Seth Rogen and Michael Cera and Jonah Hill. And got started with those bunch, and it's been wonderful to see her grow as an actress and kind of branch out from doing those awkward, funny stoner comedies to doing serious stuff and proving that she's very talented and has a lot to give. And I think we're going to see a lot from Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling in the years to come.
Well, that would be lovely. And I have been a huge fan of Ryan Gosling. I've been saying it for years. This one, the first time, I don't even remember the first time I saw him, but I'm like, this one, an eye on him.
I do remember the first time I saw Ryan Gosling.
What was it?
Young Hercules.
Oh, yes, I was about to say it.
Yeah.
I didn't see him in that, but that's right. He's been around forever.
Yeah, Young Hercules. A really underrated show from the late 90s.
Yes.
And
I about died when I found that out.
Yeah. And he was Hercules, and it was a great show. It was a great show that was short-lived and didn't get enough airtime that it clearly could have gone on for just as long as the actual Hercules series was going on with Kevin Sorbo.
Yes.
But when I saw Ryan Gosling in that as the lead as Hercules, I was like, this kid is too good, not to go anywhere.
Yeah.
And here, lo and behold, he's in La La Land. He's going to be in which I'm highly excited for, is the highly anticipated sequel to Blade Runner.
Oh, now you just gave me the chills. Chilly with the chilies. Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Yeah,
I don't keep up.
you can look up the trailer. They have like a teaser trailer out, and he's the new Blade Runner. And
That's perfect.
in the trailer you see a short scene with Harrison Ford coming back as Deckard, to reprise his role for I don't know how long he's going to be in it, but the working title is Blade Runner 2040, something like that. So I think it's supposed to be 30 years after like the events of the first Blade Runner, and we'll see how it turns out. But from the trailer, and I think the guy who directed Sicario is directing it, so it should be
very good.
Very, very good.
Well, I sure hope so. I know there's chick flicks and there's like guy flicks, and Blade Runner it's a guy movie.
Right.
But I remember, and I haven't seen it in forever when it came out, but I remember when it first came out, and I loved it. I also like action movies. I like action films. I do. I really like but I don't like when they get too crazy.
Yeah.
When it's like overdone, when it just gets gratuitous and so loud that it's like somebody's like cut open your body and pressing things upon your nerves.
Right. Well, it's like I was born in '88, and my all-time hero, even to this day, is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh.
And any, I love Stallone also, but Schwarzenegger holds like a special place in my heart because my dad showed me my first R-rated movie when I was 5 years old, and that was Total Recall, and it just left like a huge impression in my mind at such a young age that I was like, who is this guy? I need to get like as much of intake of what this guy's done, so my dad
never met him. One of few I've never met, but yeah, he's with Terminator,
Predator.
I love the Terminator, and Terminator 2. I love Terminator 2.
Yeah, and they're re-releasing Terminator 2 in 3D in August. Yeah.
But I'll never forget when I went to the movie theater, and as a woman, to see Linda Hamilton and how her body was, like she was a machine.
Right.
It was like, oh my God, look at her.
See the transition from her character in the first Terminator,
a soft,
vulnerable
girl,
damsel in distress, to Terminator 2, where she's full on like ripped, like
I
ready.
literally could cry.
Yeah.
Not like out of sadness, but just out of emotion of being so overwhelmed at that difference. I mean, that's work.
Right.
I mean, that's serious work to go from how she was in Terminator 1 to, talk about embodying a character.
Right. And also the progression of her mental state from her character in part 1 to part 2. And I actually went to Point Park here in Pittsburgh for screenwriting, and I graduated last year. And one of the classes I took, a writing class, they gave us this article that was on Terminator 2, and the breakdown of the character arcs with the progression of the characters in the film, and it basically broke down and in a sense said that Sarah from the first one to the second one has become more like the machines because she's lost all kind of like humanity, because given this knowledge of what's to come just totally broke her, and realizing that's like she's insignificant in the world that's going to come, and the only mission that she has is to make sure that John survives at all costs.
I think it's one of the few movies that goes to a sequel that almost could play as one film.
Right. Right.
Because it's so, everything matches so beautifully with, on an emotional
Right.
level, that art that you're talking about.
Right.
To the first one. Yeah, I agree. The very, very first show I did was in Burbank some years ago, these kind of convention shows, and I've done so few, less than on my two hands. And the very first one was in Burbank, California, and I sat down and had lunch with Linda Hamilton. And it was such, I loved it so much because we just sat there. We never talked about movies. I don't remember what we talked about. It was so lovely and we got along so well. And, but I always admired her from Terminator 2, how she did that transition. It was just, I've never seen an actress go to that point, that level. Even Sandra Bullock in Gravity.
Right.
She
Right.
did too. She kind of went there, did what she had to do physically.
Right.
But it still was not, I mean, Linda Hamilton doing the pull-up,
But with the one arm, pull up,
are
like,
you kidding me?
right. Just total, like, buffed out, machine.
And like, just as, in case anybody actually listens to this, women out there, I'd like to say, and men, it's a real testament how at any given moment we can change our lives. And in terms of, oh, I'm overweight, I want to lose weight, or I'd like to start running, or I'd like to, because if she can go from how she looked in Terminator 1, she was small.
Right.
But it was a completely different body. It was almost like a different human being in terms of shape. I really find that inspiring.
Definitely.
Because at any given moment, it's right there in the palm of our hands, right at our fingertips, to change our lives at any given moment.
Exactly, and even the whole point of Terminator 2 with the ending, what they try to do with destroying Cyberdyne systems and changing the outcome of the future. It's like when you're given this knowledge of, like, whether it's in Terminator 2 of knowing that the apocalypse is going to happen and what can you do to stop it, versus knowing that if you have a health issue, that you can do stuff to fix it. It's like, you're given like glimpses of what can come in the future, and you're given opportunities to change it. It's up to you to make it happen.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
It's really something to be said for that. Well, that's really interesting that we did a whole takeoff on
whole takeoff Terminator 2.
And interesting, you said about Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I said about
With Linda, yeah.
I mean, we really took on, the male-female identity. Lovely.
We can talk about some of the films you've worked on, like Phantom of the Opera.
Okay.
Now that was with Robert Englund.
Yeah.
What's Robert like?
Well, I mean, I know he's been out and has done a lot of shows, so I'm imagining a lot of fans have met him, and they would probably say what I'm going to say, which is he's so nice. I mean, he's wonderful, and as an actor, so incredibly generous, so committed to the entire process, from waking up in the morning and arriving to set on time. Not set, but makeup, and have the wherewithal to sit in a chair for as many hours as he did. Sometimes he's at work for a whole day while everybody else is still sleeping, getting ready. And then when our day's starting, he's almost finished with putting the makeup on.
Right.
And then he works a whole day. So, we were talking about him the other, with Amanda, I was talking about him because of Nightmare, how they worked together, and we were both saying he's the most generous person, and he's so full of joy and gratitude. I've never seen anything that sways from him. And as an actor, he's a consummate professional and a wonderful actor. He's the real deal. He's a great actor.
Now,
Great actor.
you know, like there's been 4 major horror like filmmakers of the 80s that left a huge impression on me with my own writing.
Okay.
And the 2 big ones are John Carpenter and Wes Craven.
I knew you were going to say Wes Craven. Do you know I did a film with Wes Craven?
Yes.
Nobody else does.
which is why I wanted to lead into that.
Okay.
You know, because like Wes was just, you know, I was really like I had to like call off of school for a day because when I heard that Wes passed, that hit me like really hard. And you know, like it was almost like a sense that, you know, a part of my childhood was like truly dead, you know, because Wes was gone, you know. And the other 2 heavy hitters that inspired me were Clive Barker and like the Stuart Gordon team who did like the Reanimator movies and all that stuff.
I don't know too much about them, but I do know.
Yeah, but you know, Wes and John Carpenter, you know, I mean, their films are so timeless, and they gave so much, you know, in the time that they were. Well, Wes was here, and John, you know, I'm hoping, you know, has more to give as well in his later years. But Wes was, you know, something special. His films were so unique in the characters and the style of filmmaking and just the personalities of his villains and antagonists, you know, and his protagonists for that matter. You know, there's just something about his writing that was very unique and inspiring to, you know, me as well as God knows how many other, you know, horror authors and screenwriters out there.
When I think about him, and I think the movie I did with him was right before his breakout. Wasn't it right before the first Nightmare?
Yeah,
I guess probably the last film he did before that.
Right.
And television film for CBS with the wonderful Beatrice Straight and Michael Beck, Chiller. I think it was called Frozen Man initially. That's what my script at home, the title was, and then they changed it to Chiller. But I have very strong memories of him because I'm very attracted to people who are thinkers, put it that way. Diane Franklin's a thinker.
Yes, she is.
She's very much that way. But with the directors that I've worked with, the ones that were that way were Wes Craven, Joe Rubin, Dwight Little, and from Phantom, and oh God, his name is slipping my mind right now. When a Stranger Calls Back. Oh my gosh, I'm having a brain dead moment.
Yeah, I'm having the brain fart also.
Oh, am I? He's going to kill me. Don't ever listen to this. Oh my God, this is what being 53 is all about. What is wrong with this? Anyway, the point is that these wonderful directors had a very common denominator thing about them, and that is how thoughtful they were. When they directed, they knew exactly what they wanted, but then within that, it was wide open. They let it unfold naturally, but they gave you they put you on the path that you needed. I always tell my students because I do these master acting classes. I'm like, you got to get on the right freeway, because sometimes it's like it's all about them, and they have to make it about the character. You actually have to serve the script.
Right.
So I always use this dumb analogy. It's like if you're in Los Angeles and you wanted to get up to San Francisco, you would not get on the 10 freeway that's going to take you to Arizona. You have to get on the 5 that's going to take you up north. And that's the way these directors work. They got you on the right freeway, and then they let it unfold. They let you determine what speed, everything within it, so that you could then create something. But it was within that framework that they gave you. And they were just so thoughtful. These men, when we were finished with the day's work, they would go and work all night long about tomorrow's work. What was going to happen that next day.
Right.
And I love that about him. I remember how meticulous he was. Yeah.
Awesome. I had a chance to interview Michael Berryman, who worked with Wes on The Hills Have Eyes, The Hills Have Eyes Part 2, and Deadly Blessing. And, he basically said pretty much the same thing you just summed up about Wes, and it just, touches my heart that, Wes was really that type of guy. And, if Doc Brown ever, invents the DeLorean time machine, although it'll have to be a bigger vehicle because I can't fit in the DeLorean. But if they ever invent the time machine, I one of the things I would go back in time to do is to talk to Wes Craven.
Oh, yeah, he's a lovely. And the other thing I'd like to say about him that I remember, and I was brand new on the scene. I always forget that I did that movie. I'm not even sure if it's on my IMDb. I have no idea. But you see how kind he was. I remember thinking he's like a father or a grandfather, that feeling when you're around someone, especially when I was so young at that time.
Right.
Maybe I was 19 or 20 or 21. And he was so careful with not just me as an actress, but as a human being. To treat me the age that I was without being insulting, but like the whole world's in front of you, lifting you up, being supportive.
Right.
Yeah. Lovely man.
That's so awesome to hear. I guess my last question is, do you have anything that you have up and coming that you're trying to promote or anything?
Well, I'm a little hush-hush on that right now.
Sure.
Okay, so first of all, I've been away from the business for 1,000 years. If you don't know that, I'm letting you know that. Because I left the business to be a wife and mother, and my youngest son just graduated, and I've been toying with this idea for 5 years, 6 years about, maybe I'll work again. But I've never been able to come to terms with it in my mind in terms of getting in the rat race, we'll call it.
Right.
It just didn't feel right to me. So I've been reinventing things at home, in my internal life, and setting in an infrastructure for working again. And I do have some stuff coming up. And when I'm ready, which will be very soon, I will be talking about it, but not right now.
Sure.
Stay a little
We can do a follow-up interview.
Because I don't have time frame yet.
Right.
I have some things happening.
Are you on Twitter, Instagram?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter. I am on Instagram. I'm not great with that stuff. That is the part of the infrastructure not put in place. But I will say I'm doing a series. I'm doing it specifically for the internet because I think that's the direction everything is going in. And I want to capitalize on that. And I don't mean in a monetary way, although that's lovely for everyone. But I just mean in terms of being alive on the planet and being the most active on the planet as I
Right.
can possibly be.
Right.
And I find the internet extremely exciting. I really like it. So I am doing something in the horror genre that's I will be announcing it soon. And it's just a fun little thing. And I am doing a film, my first film later this summer, and it's also going to be in the horror genre.
Fantastic.
And so there are things, but rather than give titles or anything like
Right,
that, I'd
right.
like to be a little quiet about
Sure,
that
sure.
right now.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to start following you on Twitter. I'm on YouTube. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, and we'll do a follow-up interview when you're ready to promote that
Great.
stuff.
Perfect. I'd love that. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Jill, it's been a pleasure talking with you. Thank you for swimming in the bowl with me.
Oh, okay. Like this. Woo, we're swimming.
We're swimming.
We're swimming.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.